Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Kirill, your justice analyst from Belarus living in Germany. And Eurovision 2025 has concluded. Austria is our well-deserved winner, and these results, they were definitely something. There were so many very unexpected 12 points from the juries. The televoting results also brought some surprises, so I think without further ado, let's take a quick look at the results of each and every country, starting from place 26 and going up. In this one, we will just briefly take a look what were their results in accordance with the televote, in accordance with the juries, if it was what was expected in accordance with the betting odds, in accordance with my predictions. In the future, I will definitely take a look at the DIVA semi-final results and also at some particular voting patterns, but as of today, let's just start with the first country. San Marino has actually not finished last in accordance with the jury results. It was 25th. It was even higher in accordance with the televote results, place 19, but in any case, total 26th place, kind of similar to what has happened to Norway in the Eurovision final last year. Maybe you remember in my predictions video, I was already putting San Marino also into the bottom 4, and I was showing you these beautiful numbers from the betting odd agencies where it was just 12th candidate to finish last. The coefficients were very high. Interestingly, from the 27 points which Gabry Ponte got, 18 of course came from Italy, including 12 points from the televote of Italy, so it's not a big surprise. The other points he got from Albania, a little bit from Malta, and surprisingly 1 point from Cypriot jury. If you remember my prediction video, I was already putting Iceland into the bottom 4, so I don't think it's a really huge surprise. However, they did really well in accordance with the televote. They got 17th place, getting, however, 0 points from the juries. Of course, as you could expect from those 33 points which they got in total from the televoters, actually 29 come from the fellow Nordic countries like Denmark, Norway, Finland, Estonia as well. I think the guys should be really proud of this result. It really shows that at least in the Nordic countries, they have quite a future. Eurovision mathematics are again in the house because Spain got ranked 21st by the juries, 22nd by the televoters, but in total just 24th. Interestingly, the juries and the televoters didn't agree in any of the countries, so basically the countries which awarded Melody some points in accordance with the televote didn't give anything from the juries, and vice versa. For example, the highest mark from the televoters was, without any surprise, from Portugal. It was 6 points, also 3 points from the rest of the world, maybe with the help of the Latin American countries. But then when we take a look at the jury results, where she definitely got a lot more points. She has received, for example, 10 points from Albania, also 5 from Malta, Azerbaijan and France. If you remember my predictions, I was already putting Spain into the bottom 4, so again, not a surprise for me. By the way, I really loved in the end of her performance to kind of pay tribute to her Andalusian heritage. She did this helicopter move with her hair, the one which she did at the Benidorm Fest. In general, I would say it's a pity that they have removed so many of such cool, funny elements from her performance for Eurovision, so the Eurovision stage, I think it just looked a little bit too generic. So Denmark was actually my personal number 1 in this Eurovision final. However, I was telling you that it will probably be in the bottom 4, and unfortunately this is what happened. Denmark did extremely well with the juries, 17th place, actually the same number of points from the juries as Albania got, who definitely finished much higher. However, the televoters didn't really feel it. Denmark got just 2 points. So me voting very actively from Germany presumably didn't help, because Denmark got only 2 points from Iceland. But the juries loved it much more. She has received 10 points from Georgia, 10 points from the United Kingdom, 8 points from the Austrian juries, and so on. I absolutely loved her performance. The song is something I listened to very actively, and she was just such a star, and she finally brought Denmark back to the Eurovision final, so I hope we are now on a good track. So this is definitely the first country I got totally wrong. I was not so optimistic about Luxembourg before Eurovision Song Contest. However, after the second semi-final, after I saw that really impressive live performance, very positive feedback in the Eurovision community, I really believe that Luxembourg has the special something to become a sensation and to reach top 10 with the help of the juries. Surprisingly for me, actually the juries were not the ones supporting this entry. She got even more points from the televote. I assume she probably would have gotten more points from the televote if she wouldn't be performing second. because right after her was Estonia, was Israel, kind of the biggest favorites. Being right in the beginning of the lineup definitely costed her a lot of points, and I actually truly expected that the country which for sure will rank her well will be France, maybe also Switzerland, but she got actually 0 points from Switzerland, no matter if we are talking about the juries or the public. From France, she got just 1 point from the public, so really limited support. And the country which actually liked Luxembourg the most was Montenegro, because the public in Montenegro has awarded her 8 points and the juries have awarded her as well 4 points. She was also really liked by the public in Albania, which has awarded her 8 points. One of my personal favorites of this year. I absolutely love this performance, and I also have casted some votes for Portugal on Saturday night. Actually was liked much more by the juries. Okay, it's just 19th place, you may say, but actually 9 countries out of 37 have seen Portugal in the top 10 in accordance with the jury results. But when we take a look at the televote, it's 21st place. Only 2 countries have awarded points to Portugal, and this were not surprisingly Luxembourg and France, so 2 countries which have the highest Portuguese diaspora, so it's a bit of a pity to see that they didn't really get the televote support from other countries like Germany, from which I was voting, for example. In any case, the guys can be totally proud. This is a great result, and I'm so happy that Portugal was in the final. Even though Armenia is just 1 position higher than Portugal, actually PARG has almost 50% more points than Portuguese representative. From the televote and from the juries, he got from both 18th place. Actually, from the televoting, he got even 12 points from the fellow neighbor Georgia. And the juries in some countries have also really loved him. For example, PARG has received 12 points from the Maltese juries and 10 points from the French ones. I got this one totally wrong. I actually thought that Armenia might have enough with the help of this powerful performance to even reach top 10, which was not the case. Unfortunately, in most of the countries, he finished, for example, in accordance with the televote, somewhere around place 9, 10, 11, 12, which means that it's not enough to get decent points. Seeing those 0 points being awarded once again to the United Kingdom was really heartbreaking for me. I was voting even for United Kingdom this year. I thought the girls delivered an amazing performance, and the jury ranking really shows they were ranked by them 10th, receiving, for example, 12 points from Italy, 10 from Ukraine, 10 from Czechia, and in general points from 13 more countries. How bookmakers were seeing this finishing last is still a mystery for me. Why many of you, especially some of you who come from the United Kingdom, were really believing that UK is again getting last place, I'm just puzzled. I think this performance musically was really cool. I'm not surprised that it didn't get so much support from the televoters. I was already telling you in my prediction video that when it comes to Switzerland and UK, I was naming both of them. They will get great support from the juries, but just televoters got already so many countries they want to vote for from the semifinals that these two will just not stand out enough, but still 0 points feels too cruel, and I really want to see where exactly they were ranked in the televoting results by each and every country, if they got like last places or were they always in the middle. So I'm really curious, and this is something we will take a look at later. And just a small disclaimer for you, last year Ole Alexander actually ranked 1 position higher. He was 18th, but his total amount of points was just 46, while Remember Monday got actually 88. Just this year's the results of the juries and the public were just so spread out that you really had to get a lot of points to climb even into the middle, which means that some of the entries which now rank around place 20 last year would have been even very close to the top 10. I think it's a great result for Norway. I was putting Kyle Alessandro in a group of 17th to 22nd place. Now he finished 18th. He actually did extremely well with the televote, 12th place. Wow. In accordance with the jury result, of course, a bit lower, 22nd place. And interesting to see that it was actually not support from just some fellow Nordic countries or something like that, like it was with Iceland, for example. On contrary, he actually got points from kind of all over Europe. His highest televoting score, 10 points he received from Ukraine, but then 8 points, for example, from Iceland, from Azerbaijan, and from Malta. So in general, a fantastic result for Norway. I'm so happy that this year they are much higher than last year. Those of you who have watched my final results prediction video know that I have reserved a special place 16 for Malta. I got quite some negative comments for that from people who believe that Malta will for sure be in the top 10, and now in reality it's even 1 position lower, actually place 17. But I have to admit, I actually expected that more points will come from the televote than from the juries. In this case, she was ranked 12th by the juries and just 23rd with only 8 points by the televoters. Her highest televote score she got from Australia, 5 points. points, and then the other countries didn't really feel it so well. She got just 1 point from 3 more of them, but the jury stood much more behind that. She got 10 points from Austrian jury, she also got 8 points from Australian jury, German jury and Israeli jury, and 17th place is still a great result, and her performance will be definitely remembered for the years to come, and this is what counts. Lithuania almost reaching 100 points, 96, what a fantastic result. From their 96 points, of course, as you could expect, most of the points came from fellow neighbors like Latvia, Poland. Also Ukrainian voters have awarded, for example, 12 points to Lithuania, and then of course lots of points from UK and Ireland, and then from the rest of the world it was just something like around 30 points in total, but still it's higher than I have expected. I was putting Lithuania into this block of 17th to 22nd place. In the end they are 16th. Lithuania just proves that each and every year they know what the voters want. Now we continue with some serious stuff, because Germany actually got almost 60% more than Lithuania, so now not just reaching 100 points mark, but having 151 points. Just mind-blowing. Just for your information, last year Portugal, who finished 10th, had 152 points, so this year the points are really spread out so widely that with 151 you reach only place 15. So Germany, for me, really surprisingly got a huge support from the juries. 13th place, including 12 points from Czechia and from Ukrainian jury. Did anyone see this coming? I was totally blown away by that. And then also from the televote, they got a very high 11th place with even 12 points from the fellow neighbor Austria, which doesn't happen so often. So Germany just had a little bit of unluck with this Eurovision mathematics, that you finish in one ranking 11, in another ranking 13th, and in total just 15th for some reason. So bookmakers actually got it right. They were putting Germany on place 14. I was a little bit more reserved. I saw them in this block of countries with places between 17 and 22. So in the end, they got 2 positions higher than that. It's only extremely sad that because in this year, all the results are so close that actually Germany has not improved their result from last year. Last year, we were closer to top 10. However, if we take a look at the points, Abor and Tynna got actually much more. So Poland once again ranked much higher by the televoters than by the juries. You remember 2016 we had this story, 2014 we had this story, and now Justyna as well. Unfortunately, she got just 17 points from the juries, which means she was ranked 24th by them. On the other hand, public has awarded her 139 points, so almost 10 times the jury points, which brought her, I think, on place 7 in accordance with the televote. She has received 12 points from Icelandic public, from Irish public, 10 points from Belgium, 10 from Dutch, 10 from the British, 7 from Germany, and so on and so on. So many countries have awarded her points. I was pretty sure the juries will not really feel it. It's not that Justyna is a bad vocalist or anything like that, but you know, the juries, they just tend to vote for something more radio-friendly, very modern, and her song was definitely not in a spotlight. I think Justyna herself, her voice, the show, this was the spotlight. The song, unfortunately, was a bit more forgettable. Has anyone expected before this Eurovision Song Contest started that Latvia might not only qualify to the final again, but even improve their last year's result, which was already pretty high? It was 16th place with Dons and Hallo. At least I couldn't. Actually, Dons had 16th place with 64 points, and now Tautumeitas have placed 13 with almost 3 times the amount of points of Dons. They have 158 points, and actually they have received 3 sets of 12 points from the juries, which was for me absolutely unexpected. They got 12 points from Lithuanian juries, 12 from the British, and also 12 from the Danish one. They also got 10 points, for example, from Australian jury. The support of the televoters was this time quite limited, but they still got 12 points from fellow Lithuanian televoters, also 8 points from Estonian ones, and 8 points from the Ukrainian televotes. I think this is an incredible result, and I really hope that Latvia is just back into the game, not just stopping their non-qualification streak last year, but just continuing to improve and being in top 10 next year.
It goes up, it goes down, and around it, around this.
Interestingly, once I have heard the song first time when I was recording my reaction to the Dutch entry, I was telling you that I have this feeling that Claude will probably finish somewhere around place 11, 12, because it was definitely giving me the vibes of the other entries which were finishing like that. But towards Eurovision Song Contest, seeing that he has finished 3rd in OGAE voting, seeing all this hype, the betting odds, I tended to believe that he might actually be in top 5. And he was, but only in accordance with the jury results, because unfortunately the televoters didn't really feel his son. His 5th place in accordance with the juries came a bit unnoticed because he unfortunately has not received even a single set of 12 points, but he got actually 10 from 4 countries such as Iceland, Spain, Ireland and Poland, but from the televoters he unfortunately has not received more than 6 points from any country, and those 6 were for example awarded by Iceland and Greece. 175 points is of course a massive score which would have been enough last year to enter top 10, but the bookmakers also got it totally wrong. He was ranked 4th biggest favorite to win the competition. Finland was also one of the massive favorites of this competition. It was ranked in OJE voting 4th. There was a long time when Finland was number 1 in the odds to win the competition. By the time of the final, she was still ranked actually 5th, which is very high. In my predictions, I have put her somewhat lower, between places 6 and 8, because I knew that she will not be ranked as high as we all expect. That's what I also said in my reaction. In my initial reaction, I was also a bit reserved and said that she might be not even in top 10. Now she has ranked 11th, just 16 points behind so desired top 10. The voters saw her a bit higher on place 9. She has received 1 set of 12 points from Austrian jury, also Estonian jury, Latvian and Armenian jury also awarded her 10 points. And then when we take a look at the televoters, unfortunately no sets of 12 points, however still 10 points from Sweden, from Estonia, and even from so distant Australia. So now we have reached the top 10, but unfortunately this video already got way too long. I just have so much that I want to say about the participants and their results. So tomorrow or the day after tomorrow, for sure, tune in for the part 2, where we will go one by one, all countries which managed to enter this well-deserved top 10. So don't forget to subscribe to my channel to not miss it. Definitely like this video and let me know down below in the comments who surprised you the most out of those who didn't make it to top 10.